This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Parents on the north side are concerned about guns on school campuses. This morning, how a community conversation is hoping to prevent future situations.
Plus, a new initiative aims to get personal in order to raise public awareness about rape and sexual assault.
And getting rid of a crime-ridden problem. Why the city's longtime effort to demolish an abandoned apartment complex can finally move forward. It's 5 o'clock on your Thursday morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm Meredith Barrett.
And I'm Lauren Casey. And we have Todd Clausen with us right now to talk about today's forecast. Again, Todd, last night, pretty nice out to get out for a walk.
Yeah, you just open the windows when you went to sleep. And yeah, for the walk, it was great as well. Today's probably the last day, though, that we're going to have the decent temperatures around. We're really going to start to warm things up in the coming days, as we have been advertising here really throughout the entire week. 50s and 60s here this morning. And our normal low is about 53 degrees. So we're well above that, obviously, in Greensburg at 68, still 66 in Bloomington. And the reason why we have some temperatures in the 50s and some in the 60s, it's all due to the cloud cover that we have out there. The visibility, not an issue, as you see here this morning. That is the good news. But where the skies are a little clearer, that's where the temperatures are a little bit cooler. So there's definitely some cloud cover around parts of the area here this morning, and the showers are to the north. You don't have to worry about the rain, but we will contend with a little bit of this cloud cover through about midday, and then it turns absolutely beautiful for the second half of our day here on Thursday with temperatures that are going to be very, very comfortable. So just a little bit of lingering cloud cover, we'll call it here this morning. Temperatures make the jump from the 50s into the 60s by the noon hour, almost close to 70 degrees. And then high temperatures today with mostly sunny skies and low humidity will get up to 75 degrees.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. We're keeping a close eye on traffic this morning, and here's a live look in the downtown area. Just a reminder again for you today, another day of the ramp closures here at I-70 and Meridian Street. That includes the lane closures heading into Meridian Street on I-70. So just a heads up as you travel through that area, you can take West Street or Harding Street as detours. And then during the daytime hours, starting at 9 a.m. down here in the Columbus area, they are closing some ramps at I-65 and State Road 46 for some repairs, scheduled to wrap up by 3 p.m. this afternoon. So just impacting your daytime travels there in Columbus. Let's take a live look right now downtown. Good morning to you here traveling through downtown. This is I-65 and I-70 at the South Split, where everything is moving along up to speed. No issues here to slow you down.
Washington Township parents say they aren't used to seeing headlines about guns in their kids' schools. But this school year, it has happened twice at 2 Washington Township schools, leaving parents wondering how they can protect their kids. School police hosted a forum for parents to ask questions, and police and community leaders gave advice. The chief of police says there are several things parents can do to help keep guns and violence out of schools. He says it starts with paying attention and asking questions about what their kids are doing online.
The parents need to know usernames and passwords and be able to get into those accounts and be aware they have apps that hide the other apps, and know that, and question your children. What are you doing here? Who are you talking to? Because a lot of the behavior that gets reported to us comes out of social media, and we're able to interdict it fairly quickly.
Police also discussed how important it is for parents to keep their own firearms locked up and off limits to kids to make it harder for young people to get their hands on deadly weapons.
Here at 503, there's a new initiative to give rape and sexual assault survivors in the Hoosier State a voice. The groups Women for Change and the Indiana Coalition to End Sexual Assault are calling the project the Clothesline. It's based on an artwork that transforms a clothesline into a forum for discussion on sexual violence. It features postcards with personal stories from victims. The cards will be collected and shared with lawmakers. Organizers hope the emotional connection will lead to a stronger state laws when it comes to protecting sexual assault victims.
To the survivors who share their stories on these postcards, and to those who simply aren't ready to do so, please know that we stand with you. To the lawmakers, we stand ready to work in partnership with you to reduce those statistics. We simply must.
According to the State Department of Health, more than 1.5 million people in Indiana report being raped or sexually assaulted. Over the next year, you'll see art exhibits, writing workshops, and many other events related to the Clothesline Project.
It appears the long saga of crime-ridden abandoned apartment complex on the northeast side will soon be over. The city has wanted to tear down the Oak Tree Apartments at the intersection construction of 42nd and Post Road for years now. Last month, the Indiana Court of Appeals ruled in favor of the city, saying it could proceed with the demolition. The deadline for the apartment complex to appeal the ruling to the Indiana Supreme Court has now passed. The city is still in a separate legal battle with the complex's owners over possession of the property through eminent domain, but demolition could happen by the end of the year.
The southern Indiana city of Madison is mourning the sudden loss of its mayor. Mayor Damon Welch died Wednesday morning at the age of 66. The city released a statement saying that he awoke with health complications and was rushed to the hospital, where he later died. The Republican was in his second term as mayor and not seeking re-election this year. Governor Eric Holcomb released a statement calling Welch a tireless public servant who is passionate about his city. Council members say Welch made the southern Indiana city tick.
You could be in like the worst mood, and when he walks through those doors, it just lifts you up. So it's really hard to lose to anybody, but to have a person with that kind of effect on people is really difficult.
Funeral arrangements for Mayor Welch are still pending this morning.
Hiring Hoosiers is an RTV6 initiative to connect you with job opportunities. A major construction project in Indianapolis will start hiring today. You can attend a job resource fair regarding construction opportunities for the new Community Justice Center. The Justice Center will be located on the grounds of the former Citizens Energy Coke site near Prospect and Keystone. The center will include a jail, courthouse, the sheriff's office, and an intervention center aimed at preventing offenders from returning to jail. The Community Justice Center job fair is tomorrow it's today from 10 until 2. That is today, at Light of the World Christian Church. That's at 4646 North Michigan Road. Just recently, we found out Purdue University students are getting the option to get food within minutes thanks to delivery robots on campus.
Yeah, and it seems like robots are getting more and more integrated into our daily lives. And so our Aaron Lish is live this morning at Walker Career Center, and that's where students are actually building robots as they get classroom to career ready. And Aaron, tells us exactly what are these students doing there?
Well, this is where all the magic happens with this robotics program. They create this showing off their talents and technology. This is one of the robots that they've created, and they do this by building these basic robots using sensors to solve problems and tasks, and they build these robots for competitive tournaments. I've seen them before. It's really impressive. Pretty high intense time when you ever watch those students go battling each other. And another thing is they program these industrial robots as well. They focus on understanding motors, functional systems, robot control systems, and students say this is really helping them prepare for a career in the STEM field, but also having fun using their creativity.
I learned how to use the machines in the machine shop. I learned how to actually hook up pneumatic systems.
There are companies that will look for that, First Robotics or Vex Robotics on a resume to say that they know that they've been in a program where they've been put under the gun, under pressure, and can succeed through it.
So if you'd like to see these talented students work, they will be hosting a VEX robotic competition November 16th over at Warren Central High School. They do get college credit for this. This is one of the displays here. It's for those smaller robots that they will be using at those VEX tournaments. And coming up in the next half hour, we're going to hear from some of those students who have built these robots and what this all means to them in their future career path. But for now, back to you in the studio.
Aaron, thank you. It is frustrating to get bogged down in traffic as a result of construction, but now Purdue is developing ways to get things back open faster after road work. Engineers at the university are doing it with these sensors as part of a collaboration with INDOT. They've embedded the sensors into Indiana highways to more precisely determine when concrete pavement is ready to handle heavy truck traffic. Traffic can build waiting for pavement to be ready, but opening roads too soon after new concrete is paved can cause it to crack, so the sensors should help get it right. All right, Todd, at 5:08, we are getting the weather right today. Perfect day ahead.
Yeah, really is. It's going to be a terrific Thursday for us here across the area. There's just a little bit of cloud cover this morning, but no rain in the forecast. That's the good news. So as you get going and starting your day here, temperatures are going to be in the 50s. So it's another kind of cooler morning for us here across the area with skies that'll be mainly clear in some areas. There's a little more in the way of cloud cover as you work your way to the north, and you see these showers here in northern locations. Those those will bypass us to the north. You don't have to worry about those. And the clouds that are lingering, they too will move out. And then behind the clouds, there's lots of clear skies. And that's the sunshine we enjoy later on this afternoon. So our average high went down another degree here today. 73 degrees is what we should be. We'll be very close to that in northern locations. 72 in Tipton today. A little bit warmer to the south in the mid-70s from Bloomington over towards Seymour. Then in and around the metro area, about 75 degrees will be the high temperature. Again, a beautiful day. We'll talk more about the weekend coming up in just a few minutes.
Todd, thank you. A southern Indiana teen pleads guilty to a house fire that killed his uncle. This morning, he knows how long he could spend in jail.
And right now, we're keeping a close eye on your morning drive. Here's a live look up here in Castleton, I-69 near 82nd Street. Traffic is moving along smoothly northbound and southbound this morning on the northeast side. No issues for your morning commute. Stick around. We'll be right back after this short break.
Days from 4:30 to 7.
Welcome back. It is 5:13 on your Thursday, and we're monitoring your morning drive. Good morning, Greenwood. This is I-65 at the Main Street exit down in Johnson County. You can see traffic still pretty quiet through that area. No crashes or issues to slow you down.
A Floyd County teen could spend nearly 2 decades in prison for starting the fire that led to the death of his uncle. Adam Hersker was just 14 years old at the time of the fire. The teen was sentenced to 17.5 years for felony arson to be taken to a juvenile facility. Hersker pleaded guilty to starting a fire this summer in the home where he lived with his siblings and his aunt and uncle. That fire claimed the life of his uncle Mike Hersker. His father Thomas said his brother was a good man that had cared for his children as his own, and the teen should be held accountable in prison.
He murdered my brother. With the possibility that he gets out at the age of 18 with good behavior is not acceptable. I know my brother. I know he would probably accept that. I don't accept it. He should have got more time.
A judge says once Adam Hersker turns 18, a hearing will be held to determine if they'll modify his sentence.
A special investigator says the sheriff suspended after his response to the Parkland shooting should return to duty. Investigators say Governor Ron DeSantis failed to prove the charges against Sheriff Scott Israel in his suspension order. DeSantis suspended Israel back in January, citing failures related to the Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School massacre and the Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport shooting. Investigators say Israel was not blameless for the mass shooting, but also said the evidence doesn't show that he should be removed.
Negotiations between General Motors and the United Auto Workers Union have reached the main bargaining table with lead negotiators from both sides. The massive strike is in its second week now. UAW officials say the back and forth will continue until negotiations are complete. This week, strikers for the first time became eligible for modest strike benefits of $250 a week. The strike benefits will cost the union about $12.5 million a week. Analysts say the company is losing $2 million a day because of the strike.
Well, 2 more people have died from vaping-related illnesses here in the United States. The first vaping deaths in Florida and Georgia bring the nationwide total to 11. The person in Georgia had a history of heavy nicotine vaping, but did not have a history of vaping other substances such as THC. As of last week, at least 530 cases of lung injury associated with the use of e-cigarettes or vaping products has been reported to the CDC. And speaking of that, top e-cigarette maker Juul is changing leadership amid this vaping crisis. The company says that CEO Kevin Burns will be replaced by Casey Crosthwaite, who worked with the tobacco company Altria. Juul also said it will stop all TV, print, and digital ads and stop some of its lobbying.
A multinational crew of 3 is on the International Space Station aboard a Soyuz spacecraft. NASA astronaut Jessica Meir is among the crew. The rocket took off from Kazakhstan. 9 people will be aboard the ISS until October 3rd when 2 crew members return to Earth. Back here in central Indiana, things are a little bit cooler than we're used to this time of year now. We're just all over the board.
Yeah, you know, we were running really, really warm, and now we've kind of cooled it off to more seasonable temperatures this week, and then we're going to really crank up the heat once again next week, and that's why I want to point this out to you to kind of put everything into perspective for you. Our normal high temperature this time of year is 73 degrees. Yesterday we were in the upper 70s. Today a little cooler at 75, so pretty seasonable, but we're talking potentially 90-degree temperatures as we work our way into next week and the start start of October. 64 degrees, that is the current temperature. Just a light wind at north-northwest at 5 miles per hour. The dew point's in the 50s, so the air is very, very dry. And take a look at this. Sunrise, 7:36 in the morning. Sunset, 7:36 in the p.m. Exactly 12 hours of daylight for us here on this day. So temperatures this morning range from some 50s here in Crawfordsville and Greencastle to 69 in Greensburg. 62 is the current temperature up in Muncie. And we'll start to see a lot more of this. The battle between the cooler temperatures to the north, 45 right now in Bismarck, and the warmth down to the south. Initially here over the next week or so, as we turn our winds more southerly, the warmth is going to start to win out here across central Indiana. So if you're a fan of summer-like warmth, it's going to continue, and you'll be pretty happy. If you want some of those cooler temperatures in here, unfortunately, there is not a lot going forward. So a little bit of cloud cover burns off to mostly sunny skies here throughout the morning hours. It should be a beautiful afternoon with 69 your temperature at the noon hour, 71 by 2 p.m. And then those high temperatures again anywhere from about 72 to 75 degrees. Should be absolutely beautiful. And here is a little of that lingering cloud cover. Don't worry about these showers. They scoot off towards the east, and they are non-player in our forecast for the day today. So carry on with any outdoor plans. This evening, you may want a light jacket. It's another cooler night for us across the area, as temperatures will fall back down into the 60s already by about 8 p.m. And then by 11 p.m., we're down to 60 degrees. That means we're all going down into the 50s come tomorrow morning across the area, even some 40s in the outlying area. So it's a cool start to our day tomorrow. But look at this. Look how quickly we warm tomorrow from the 50s all the way up into the low to mid 80s with increasing clouds. So tomorrow's the start of a warmer stretch of weather, and it's also another edition of the Friday Football Frenzy. It's going to be warm for all the high school games. 82 at 7 p.m., 75 degrees by the time we get to 9 p.m. And as you look at your weekend planner here, we're talking about mid to upper 80s over the weekend. Saturday 85, about a 20% chance of an isolated storm. Sunday 87 degrees, and then we'll continue to crank the heat up a little bit more as we enter the month of October. Monday and Tuesday, 89 degrees, the high temperature. 89 is also the record for those 2 days. So we could be talking record highs on October 1st and 2nd to go along with the heat. Quite a bit of sunshine as well. Lauren.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Well, on your Thursday morning, want to give you a look at your morning drive. We're taking a little bit of road work here going on I-65 near State Road 334 up in Whitestown, but overall, no problems here to slow you down. Great news for your drive on the northwest side. We want to take a look at our map, though. No crashes around the metro area, but we do have some ongoing ramp work we want to remind you about. The ramp's closed to the ramp system here, I-70 and Meridian Street in multiple directions, so you can take West Street or Harding Street, those ramp systems as your detours to get in and out of the downtown area today. Scheduled to be wrapping up tomorrow morning. And then down here in Columbus, this goes into effect around 9 a.m. this morning after the morning commute. I-65 and State Road 46, the ramp system there, they're doing some repair work to several of those. That's scheduled to reopen this afternoon around 3 o'clock, so just a heads up if you're traveling in the daytime in Columbus. Let's take a live look over on the west side. No problems here. I-70 and State Road 267. Traffic's moving along fine in both directions. We'll continue to keep you updated.
New data from the Kaiser Family Foundation shows that employer-sponsored health coverage appears to be getting less affordable. That's according to the foundation's 2019 Employer Health Benefits Survey. It found the average yearly premium for employer-sponsored family health insurance stood at more than $20,000 this year. That's a 5% increase from last year, and workers are paying an average of more than $6,000 a year toward their coverage. The survey found the average deductible is about $1,600 for single coverage. Prison officials are used to watching out for contraband, but after the break, why technology now has officials looking up.
And we're keeping a close eye on your commute. I-465 and Ditch Road. North side drivers, no problems here on your interstates. We'll be right back after the break with more news, weather, and traffic here in Good Morning Indiana.
Hurry in before the play clock expires.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. It is 5:24 on your Thursday, and we're monitoring your morning drive. Here's a live look to the northeast, I-465. Near Pendleton Pike, you can see traffic there is traveling just fine, both northbound and southbound. No crashes or issues in this area to slow you down.
When it comes to contraband smuggling in jails, law enforcement officials are always on the lookout. But now, in the age of drones, they may need to look up as well. Watch as an Ohio prison inmate gets a contraband delivery from a drone. drone. It was caught on camera in an outdoor recreation area. The inmate can be seen watching the skies before the drop is made, and although the drone missed its mark, the inmate was able to collect his package. The sheriff's office says it contained marijuana and a cell phone. An investigation has been launched into the drone-related incident.
Wonder if it came with a data plan as well.
Not gonna lie, that's pretty savvy.
Yeah, very cool. So, Georgia cops save a sleeping man from a car just moments before it was hit by a train. Take a look at this. Dash cams were rolling when the officers came upon a car on the tracks in Atlanta. Just as they discovered the driver asleep inside, a train is heard approaching. The man was not responding, so the officers had to break the window. He was pulled up to safety moments before the freight train plowed into that vehicle. Well, the man was uninjured and is now facing DUI charges.
Not every police rescue is life-threatening. A Utah officer saved the day by helping teach a teen who was running late to a school dance how to tie his necktie. While rushing the teen to a friend's house for help, his mother was pulled over. But instead of a ticket, the officer gave a free lesson. The boy's mom, who's a single parent, says the cop's small gesture made a big impact. I always love those stories.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know how to tie a necktie.
I don't either.
So.
Someone who does really well, though.
Yes.
Todd, look at that.
Yeah.
I like your tie today,
Perfection every morning.
Thank you. My dad taught me. It is tough, though. You know, it takes a little while, you know, to get it. You sit there in the mirror, and then it's too short, and then you got to redo it.
Yeah.
It takes a little while to figure out to get the right size. But, yeah, kudos to that cop. All right, outside right now, we're dealing with quiet conditions, partly cloudy skies, a little on the cooler side once again with temperatures that are currently in the 50s and 60s. And we'll actually see our temperatures go down a few degrees here this morning as the skies continue to clear out. And so the trend throughout the day today will be for a little bit of cloud cover this morning and mostly sunny skies this afternoon with highs in the mid-70s. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Today at 10 on RTV6. This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
2 high school employees are back at work after being placed on administrative leave. Why some in the district are not happy about the school board's decision to allow them to return.
And a Central Indiana company has reached a settlement after being accused of discriminating against women. What Penske Logistics is doing to make that change. But before we get to those top stories, we do want to talk about your weather on this Thursday.
Yeah, it's going to be another nice day out there, Todd, as we transition into more fall-like temps.
Yeah, you know, today is pretty seasonable. We haven't really been able to use that word a whole lot here throughout the month of September as our temperatures have been well above normal. So today is your day and enjoy it because some big changes head our way over the weekend. Grab the sunglasses. You'll need that this morning. Some of you may want the light jacket with temperatures in the 50s, but we will warm very quickly here once the sun comes up. One of the cooler spots, as usual, that Crawfordsville, Greencastle area with temperatures in the 50s. 64 in Indy, 65 is the current temperature on the east side of the state in Richmond. Good morning to you in Wayne County. So there's a little bit of cloud cover around and some showers to the north. Don't worry about the rain at all. That does not impact us at all here throughout the day today. And these clouds, if you do have them in your neighborhood, which many of us do this morning, they'll burn off very, very quickly once the sun comes up. So it turns into a beautiful day for us. Temperatures with a little bit of a northwesterly wind, though, today don't make that huge jump like we've seen the past few days, but it's a steady climb through the 60s during the morning hours, 70 degrees by the noon hour, with high temperatures today in the low to mid 70s. So enjoy today. 80s return tomorrow. More on that coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Here's a live look right now at traffic from our INDOT traffic camera to the northwest. I-65 and I-865 in the dogleg. Pretty busy, actually, at this early hour. No delays, though, so that is good news. Let's take a look at our traffic now map. We are monitoring the ramp work. Just a reminder about this. It's the only issue you should run into right now near the downtown area. I-70 and Meridian Street, the ramp system there, they're doing some repairs from some winter damage. Scheduled to reopen tomorrow morning, but throughout the day today, you'll need to avoid that area, as well as down here in Columbus during the daytime hours between the hours about 9 a.m. 3 p.m. They're closing some of the ramps at I-65 and State Road 46, so avoid that during the daytime hours. Let's take a live look right now at your commute through downtown here at I-65 and I-70 at the South Split. There's no issues, but you see those orange barrels. We do have a lane closure for the work going on at Meridian Street just past the South Split, so just a heads up to that as you're traveling through that area. Well, 2 Northwest Hendricks school employees are now back to work after months of being on paid administrative leave. The school board made that decision last night, but it's something that's not sitting well with everyone.
It all stems from a Tri-West coach that's accused of sexual misconduct. The school board voted Tuesday to allow Tri-West High School Athletic Director Nathan Begley and Dean of Students Stacy Begley to return to their positions. They were placed on administrative leave in July after coach and teacher Tyler Bruce was accused of sexual misconduct with a student. Some have criticized how the Begleys handled the situation. The board went against the administration's recommendation to cancel their teaching contracts. Now, Bruce has been on administrative leave since July while a criminal investigation continues. He denies the allegations against him and has not been criminally charged. You can read more about the ongoing case and the latest developments by clicking on this story in the RTV6 app.
This morning, police are asking for your help to find this missing Indianapolis woman. Take a look at your screen. Officers say that 24-year-old Elizabeth Dodd went missing yesterday after she left her group home. She has a mental disability and was last seen on West 48th Street and Kessler Boulevard. Dodd was wearing a white shirt and pink pants. If you see her or know where she is, please call police.
An Indianapolis man found guilty of murdering his mother's boyfriend has been sentenced to 50 years in prison. Police say Jacob McIntosh admitted to shooting and killing Jesse Daniels in January of last year in a home on the east side. McIntosh claimed Daniels had been taking advantage of his mother and was stealing from her.
At 5:34, people in a North Side neighborhood hosted another Crime Watch meeting last night after a recent outbreak of thefts and burglaries. There have been package thefts, car break-ins, burglaries here in the Butler-Tarkington neighborhood. And so the Neighborhood Association hopes that a Crime Watch group and police can work together to stop these thieves from targeting their homes. The crimes may seem petty, but homeowners there said that these should be taken seriously.
These things we still don't want to tolerate. Yes, they're small, but we don't want them in our neighborhood.
It's escalated a little bit from what I can see over the last couple of weeks, and we just don't want it to get worse.
The Neighborhood Association president says he reached out to IMPD and the department is increasing patrols in their area. Working for you, if you're concerned about crime in your own neighborhood, you can just go to the RTV6 app, click on this story, and learn how to start a Crime Watch group.
If you live in Hamilton County, your local income tax is going to go up next year. The Noblesville Common Council approved the tax increase Tuesday. It will bump the local income tax from 1% to 1.1%. The increase is expected to generate about $16 million per year to help fund the county's 911 center. If you make $75,000 a year, the increase will mean you would pay an additional $75. That will take effect January 1st.
Penske Logistics in Shelbyville has agreed to settle allegations that it discriminated against women applying for jobs at their warehouse. The company has agreed to pay $350,000 in back wages to 185 women, as well as offer jobs to 99 women. The U.S. Department of Labor says the settlement will ensure qualified applicants of both genders have an equal opportunity to compete for good jobs. Penske Logistics still denies the discrimination allegations.
Watch out, robots are taking over the Walker Career Center thanks to students who are getting into the STEM industry. Our Aaron Lish is live there this morning as they get classroom to career ready. Aaron, fill us in on this robotics program.
So students are showing their creativity and ingenuity here in the robotics program, getting them for a life in the world of technology.
For Walker Career Center student Keegan Axmit.
All right, that's on. Let's just fill up this side first.
He helps design and build these robots.
All right, we're going for the top. So then.
They use sensor and actuators to solve problems and complete tasks in their robotics program.
I make most of the parts for the robot, so I'm pretty good at using the manual machines. So the next step after that is just going straight to CNC.
Skills gained include understanding motors, functional systems, and robot control systems.
There are companies that will look for that, First Robotics or Vex Robotics on a resume to say that they know that they've been in a program where they've been put under the gun, under pressure, and can succeed through it.
They program industrial robots and design test robots for competitive tournaments.
Make sure you make those long enough that we have some extra to wind it through here.
For Ashton Watson, she enjoys repairing the robots.
So we're replacing the regulator for the pneumatic system.
She hopes her passion for engineering and STEM will inspire others.
Even if you think that you have just a little bit of an interest in it, that you should definitely try, getting into STEM, getting into robotics, getting into coding.
And these robots are the vehicles to help teach these students how to grow in the robotics industry.
I think it's great. I think it's one of the best things I've done throughout my high school career.
So clearly these students love what they're doing and love what they are learning. They will get college credit for this different program, and they will have a VEX robotic competition in a couple months over at Warren Central. So if you want to check out all the hard work that they're doing, you can see that. We'll have that information on the RTV6 app and on the IndyChannel.com. Back to you guys in the studio.
All right, Aaron, thank you so much. Vice President Mike Pence is scheduled to speak in Indianapolis today about the U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement. He'll be at the U.S. Postal Service's Eagle Hub at the airport this afternoon for an event series called A Better Deal for American Workers. Tomorrow, he'll tour the state's Neurodiagnostic Institute and Advanced Treatment Center on the east side.
So last night, both candidates for mayor of Indianapolis pitched their best ideas to end homelessness here in our city. The discussion was part of the CHIP celebration program. CHIP, or Coalition for Homelessness Intervention and Prevention, is a local organization designed to end homelessness in Indianapolis. Democratic Mayor Joe Hogsett and Republican Senator Jim Merritt took 5 questions each on the issue.
No one should live in a cardboard box, especially a veteran.
But the truth is, 78 cities and 3 states have effectively ended veteran homelessness. So, point 1, it can be done.
You can watch the full discussion on the RTV6 Facebook page. Remember, Election Day is November 5th.
The Indiana Black Expo has announced the oldest man in the exonerated 5, Corey Wise, will be the Grand Marshal for this year's Circle City Classic Parade. Wise and 4 other men, most commonly known as the Central Park 5, were wrongfully accused and imprisoned for the rape and beating of a 28-year-old woman in New York City. Their story was most recently featured in the Emmy Award-winning Netflix series When They See Us. Wise is now a criminal justice reform advocate and speaker. The Circle City Classic Parade will be held Saturday at 10:30 on North Pennsylvania Street. The game between Jackson State University and Kentucky State University is scheduled for 3 at Lucas Oil Stadium. Now, we're going to get the bus stop forecast here in just a moment, Todd, and then you'll tell us what the weather will be like for that parade this weekend.
Yeah, the parade this weekend is going to be pretty warm out there. Saturday, we're going to be having temperatures in the 80s, so we'll probably start off mid-morning when that parade's going with temperatures that will be in the 70s. And at this point, it looks like it should be dry. There's a small storm chance on Saturday, but it's probably more in the afternoon. 59 degrees as the kids head off to school on average here this morning. A few locations above that, few locations below that temperature. And then with lots of sunshine as the kids come home, we're looking at a temperature of 74 degrees. So the clouds will decrease here this morning to a mostly sunny sky this afternoon. Our humidity scale, we don't really have to move the needle at all. Just great as the humidity remains very, very low throughout the day today. However, the humidity is going to start to climb, as will the temperatures. Our average high is 73 for today, but as we get into the weekend and then Monday, the average temperature actually drops to 72 degrees, and we'll be running well above that. Today, we're in the low to mid 70s. Tomorrow, we make the jump back up into the 80s, and look at this. By the time we get to Monday, our temperatures will be approaching 90 degrees once again, and it's not just a one-day deal. We'll carry those 90-degree days over into October potentially as well, which could set some records. More on that coming up in just a few minutes.
Hey, Todd, thanks. A summary of President Trump's controversial call with the Ukrainian president has been released. Coming up, how officials are reacting to that exchange.
And more deaths reported as a mosquito-borne illness continues to spread. Still ahead, what we know about the rare virus.
And here's a live look right now at your commute near the airport. If you're heading out to catch a flight early this morning, you shouldn't have any problems here on the interstates. I-70 a little east of the airport ramps. Traffic is picking up and traveling just fine. We'll be right back after the break with more on your news of the day and your commute.
Keep it all day strong.
The White House has released a summary of President Trump's call with the president of Ukraine, which shows Trump asking the leader of Ukraine to look into the Biden family. Democrats are pouncing, saying the rough transcript shows there was quid pro quo, but many Republicans are defending the president. This morning, a source told ABC News that Ukrainian government officials understood that in order to arrange a call with the American president, they had to agree to talk about investigating the Bidens. The Ukrainian leader says he never felt pressured.
I think, and you read it, that nobody pushed me. Yes.
In other words, no pressure.
But in a summary of the July call between the two leaders, Trump directly asked the Ukrainian president to coordinate with Attorney General Bill Barr and his personal lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, to investigate his 2020 rival, Joe Biden, and Biden's son, who was doing business in the Ukraine. There's been no evidence of any wrongdoing against the Bidens.
At 5:45, President Trump has now imposed new visa restrictions on officials from Iran and Venezuela. He announced the restrictions in a presidential proclamation yesterday. It bars senior officials and their family members from entering the U.S. Military, police, and National Guard officials from Venezuela are also affected. Exemptions can be made under certain international agreements.
The judge overseeing the mass shooting case in El Paso wants it to be reassigned to a different judge. Judge Angie Juarez Baril says she made the request because she knew one of the victims in the Walmart shooting that left 22 people dead. She is also running for Chief Justice in the 8th Court of Appeals. Her current term ends in December of 2020, and she's concerned that the case will continue through that date. The suspect in the case is being charged with capital murder and could face the death penalty.
At 5:46, a 10th person has now died from the mosquito-borne EEE virus. This is the 4th death in the state of Massachusetts. The virus is rare, but it causes serious brain infections. There's not been any reported human cases here in Indiana, but 4 horses have tested positive up in Elkhart County. There have been 27 human cases here in the U.S. so far this year. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says that there are typically just 5 to 10 human cases each year. We do want to take a turn now, get a check of our forecast on this Thursday. Todd, what do people need to know?
All right, as you walk out the door, temperatures today actually going to be pretty seasonable. We haven't used the word seasonable very often here this month, and we probably won't after today for the remainder of the month. So take advantage. There are some small storm chances going forward in this forecast as we get into the weekend, and then beyond the storms, near record heat will be heading our way by the time we get to the end of the weekend and then the start of next week. 50s and 60s here this morning across the area. 66 in Bloomington, 64 in Indy, 50s from Tipton up to the north in Peru, where it's 58 degrees currently. And there's a little bit of cloud cover this morning across parts of the area. Some showers there in northern Indiana. You don't have to worry about the showers at all. They'll slowly drift off towards the east, and these clouds, they'll start to thin out as well as we work our way throughout the course of the morning hours. So there's still a little bit of cloud cover lingering right now, but things will get better very quickly as the day goes on. So temperatures today will not climb as quickly as they have in the past few days, and the difference is the wind direction. Today, more of a northwesterly wind that keeps the humidity down. That's the good news, but it also prevents our temperatures from warming probably into the upper 70s or around 80 degrees. Instead, we'll probably settle off in the low to mid 70s. Still very, very nice, especially if you're in the sunshine. I will point out, though, this evening, if you are going to be out, maybe having dinner on a patio, as soon as that sun sets or you get into the shadows and you're not in the sunshine, you're probably going to want to have a little bit of a long sleeve shirt on, as these temperatures will cool off very, very quickly. In fact, with the sunshine at 7 p.m. still right around 69 degrees, but as we work our way to the 11 o'clock hour, that temperature is already down to near 60 degrees. Very nice, but just have that light jacket. And then take a look at these morning low temperatures come this time tomorrow. We're talking about 53 in the city, but 40s in the outlying area. So it's a cool start to our day tomorrow. But tomorrow we have those southerly winds. So today I mentioned that the north winds keep us on the cooler side. Tomorrow we warm up very, very quickly with the temperatures climbing all the way into the mid 80s. Now tomorrow starts off with lots of sunshine. We warm quickly, and then as we work our way into the afternoon and evening hours, we'll have to keep an eye on some showers sneaking into northern locations here, which could impact some high school football games up to the north. I think you're fine just down to the south, but the further north you go Friday evening, that's when you run into some better storm chances, and then some of that rain will settle into our area as we head into Saturday morning, and then eventually into Sunday. There's about a 20% chance of some storms as well. So temperatures climb over the weekend. Saturday and Sunday we are into the mid-80s, and then look at this as we head into Monday and Tuesday. Monday's the last day of September. Tuesday starts the month of October. It's the 1st, and my forecast high 89 degrees. That also just so happens to be the record high for both Monday and Tuesday, so potentially could break some records here to end the month and start the new month next week. And then even Wednesday, 86 is the high temperature, still well above normal, but Wednesday the record high may be out of reach as it's in the low 90s. Either way, some minor storm chances here as we get into Friday and Saturday. Then it's all about the heat going into next week.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Right now the roads are looking pretty good. No crashes around the metro area, so let's plan out your drive right now if you're heading in from the south side. If State Road 37 is part of your commute northbound, it's a 9-minute commute from Smith Valley Road in Greenwood to the I-465 ramps at the Harding Street exit. No delays. Over here on I-65 traveling northbound from Johnson County, down here at Whiteland Road, that exit there heading up northbound to I-70 at the north split, an 18-minute drive, so no problems there for your commute. Let's take a turn though, travel to the northeast side of town. This is a live picture of I-69 and 82nd Street near the Castleton area, and you can see lots of headlights out that way. Traffic is picking up here on I-69, but everything is still moving along up to speed. We'll keep a close eye on this spot and keep you updated.
Delta Airlines is amending their emotional support animal policy. The change allows travelers to take their support pets on longer flights. They lifted the 8-hour flight limit to comply with federal guidelines. However, pit bulls are still not allowed on Delta flights. Travelers who intend to travel with an emotional support animal must submit valid documentation at least 48 hours before their flight.
Well, we all know that water can quench our thirst, but new research shows that milk may keep us hydrated for longer. It has to do with how our bodies process liquids. Water hydrates us the fastest, but it also empties out our stomach the fastest, whereas milk contains a little bit of sugar, protein, and fat, which can stay in our stomachs longer and therefore keep hydration happening over a longer period of time. However, researchers say drinks with too much of these nutrients, like fruit juice or even soda, sit in our stomach too long and they provide little hydration. Well, robots continue to get more advanced, and one is even doing gymnastics. After the break, we're going to introduce you to the bot named Atlas. We'll be right back.
Vehicle.
Move over, Simone Biles and Gabby Douglas. A new robot is showing off some Olympic-sized gymnastic skills. Boston Dynamics created this robot and named it Atlas. It can do a handstand, roll around, and even do a jumping twist. Boston Dynamics says Atlas is the world's most dynamic humanoid robot with human-level agility. Kind of scares me.
Creepy, yeah. Well, a new study says that humans would have been able to live on Venus about 700 million years ago. Scientists say the planet had water on its surface for about 3 billion years and had temperatures between 68 and 122 degrees. The planet's atmosphere is now too hot after dense after a greenhouse effect that changed Venus's environment.
So maybe women really are from Venus.
I know. Men are from, what was
Mars.
it, Mars?
Mm-hmm.
Todd?
Is that the truth, Todd?
I'm from Earth.
Okay.
I don't know about it. I know the saying.
You know
I'm just
the
kidding.
saying.
I know the saying. I'm not from Mars.
And we won't say the other one, the not so nice one that you used to say in grade school.
Right.
Yeah.
You know.
Just leave that alone here. All right, outside this morning, temperatures are in the 60s in Indy, Bloomington, as well as Muncie. Some 50s, though, as you get into the outlying areas. And Storm Team 6 radar is quiet this morning, and that's the way it stays throughout the entire day. You do not have to worry about any precipitation for the day today. And honestly, it's a really nice day. We start off with a little bit of cloud cover out there this morning, but that'll thin out very, very quickly once the sun comes up, and we could become mostly sunny with a high temperature today that'll be topping off right around 75 degrees. So take advantage of today. The 80s return tomorrow and potentially 90s as we round out the month of September. We'll talk more about that coming up in your 7-day planning forecast when Good Morning Indiana returns right here on RTV6. Stay with us. We'll be back in just a few minutes.